A little season-ending cheese and Packers here. Charlie Sokaitis, Kelly Price. We have a nice spread. Unfortunately, unlike Chris Barrier, I don't have any cheese-related jokes to open up with. So, Kelly, let's get right into the Packer part.
No cheesy puns today, but nothing mattered today for either the Lions or the Packers. Neither team is going to make the playoffs, but the Lions ran away with this one. Matthew Stafford and company just totally torched the Packers defense. Matthew Stafford went 20 for 29 with 323 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had a 140 quarterback rating. 3 different receivers for the Lions had 80 yards and a score. Does this say more about the Lions offense or the Packers lackluster defense?
I think it's a little column A, a little column B. The Lions had their starting quarterback. That makes a big difference. The Packers did not. So even when the Packers had the ball on offense, they weren't holding on to it as long. They were putting a lot of stress on their own defense that was not really necessary when you've got a lot of guys out. So while I think it could have been a better performance by the defense than we saw, I don't think you can put everything just on them. I think it was a total team effort to not get it done today.
And speaking of team effort or lack thereof, Dom Capers reportedly out as the defensive coordinator for the Packers. What options do you see for replacing him going forward for the Packers?
Well, there's a number of different options that have been talked about a lot. Now, we're not going to know which one the Packers actually go after. We're not going to know which one makes the most sense financially for them. Vic Fangio of the Bears, likely the guy that's being at the top of the list. At least that's what it sounds like based on everybody that is an insider. He's a guy that has actually worked for Capers at 2 different spots, but it was his stint with the 49ers where he had top 5 defenses that really has sort of gotten that ball rolling, in my opinion. Then a couple other guys. There's going to be some head coaches now looking for jobs. Maybe one of those guys steps in. You got a Chuck Pagano. Maybe he could come be a defensive coordinator. Vance Joseph of the Broncos. Marvin Lewis, another guy that could potentially be looking for a job if he wants to keep it going. And then if you want to look at other coordinators around the league, the Giants probably going to be getting rid of Steve Spagnuolo. I don't think he's going to get the head job there. Usually a head coach wants to bring in his own guys. There's a number of different options that could come here. The only thing that really matters, though, is it seems like there's going to be a change. And one last thing, even though I know a lot of Packer fans are excited about Dom Capers potentially getting the boot here, he is a guy that was part of this team when they won a Super Bowl. He does deserve a lot of respect for the best of what he did here. Maybe time for the teams to part ways now, but always sad to see somebody go. And it's likely going to take that whole staff, or at least most of the defensive staff with him. Never forget, these are people with real jobs that are losing those jobs.
Another person who's been a part of the Lambeau landscape for quite some time now is Ted Thompson. How do you see his future shaking out? Do you predict maybe a retirement, or what do you think will happen there?
I'm not sure how that's going to go. I think that there's a chance he retires, but I think Ted sticks around for at least one more year, and then after that, perhaps they start looking somewhere else. It just depends on how Mark Murphy feels about the way this season's gone. If he thinks it's that there was a lack of talent on the team, or if he thinks that coaching had more to do with it, or if he thinks just the injury to Aaron Rodgers is the main issue. And if that's the case, then maybe you don't really swab around too many of the deck chairs, because this team is good when Rodgers is on the field. They typically make the playoffs. They typically make deep runs. So while a lot of people want a lot of changes, I think that maybe prudence prevails, at least where Ted Thompson is concerned.
And one more thing as well, so we can end on a positive note here.
This is pretty cool,
yeah,
actually.
The jack of kind of all offensive line trades, Justin McCrae. This time last year, you can see this tweet now, he was a bellman for a hotel in Florida. Now he's living out his NFL dream as starting for the Packers. That's a pretty cool moment for him. You've got to keep things in perspective now as we kind of move into 2018.
Absolutely. I mean, this wasn't the year for the Packers. It's not the one that they wanted to have. And for maybe you at home, maybe this wasn't the year you wanted to have. But you know what? A lot can change in a single year. Your life situation can get a lot better. So be positive going into 2018. I'm going to be. I hope you are, Kelly, and we hope you guys are at home as well. Keeping you connected, I'm Charlie Sokaitis with Kelly Price. This is Cheese and Packers.